guys. I think Ramu, we were the most rogue group out of all.
Correct.
Because we didn't go into the topic that was given to us. We started with a room full of good people. We thought we'll have the impact of what means, of what they are specialist. Let's talk about this as a group. Everybody's interest. Let's talk about each, and it turned out good. So I'm going to list some 5 points which are not directly related to automation, but some things which came across very nicely to understand the market. Yeah, the first thing started with my friend from user experience group. So we are just discussing on what makes a software successful apart from the functionality is the ability to have the right functionality at the place where it is expected, and that's where the role of having a good user experience, and it's been evolving over the time. I'm sure that, let's say 5 or 6 years back, while we are there working at a software development company, we didn't have this role called user experience. Generally it was the guy who writes the specifications who would just put them across, but now it's growing. Yeah, the reason is to have them at the right place to make sure the software is being used the way it has to be. Sometimes we miss the functions. We don't want to do that. So that was the input, and I was referring to one of my friends is that the best user experience I have seen is I had a TV remote for my grandfather, and he just used to reduce the volume and change the channel, switch on and off. So he just put a tape across the other things. That's the best user experience I have come across. So that's how we also would like to, build our user experience.
That was the start of adding features, about removing features.
Sure. The second point was about our friends who are providing applications for Konica Minolta. Yeah. So one of the points that we discussed was how to engage the users. Most of the time, when we give the applications to the users, the usage is not complete. So how do we engage these people to make sure the actual value of the investment is being put to use? So we're discussing on things like how to train these users. Because what happens is typically there is operational training. Yeah, the guy who's installing the software or the machine is comes and says, press this button for this, press this button, take a job, I'll run it for you. But what about the next stage of engaging these people and making them as power users? From standard users to power users, and the importance of having a connect deeper between how the application was built and how the user is going to use. Again, flows from the workflow aspect. We were also discussing on how to handle the bottom of the pyramid. Yeah, we're all talking about the top of the pyramid, which needs automation, which asks for automation in most of the cases. Now, what about the bottom of the pyramid? How are they going to adapt this? So one of the things is we decided was to make sure that their majority of applications is solved at the bottom. Yeah, because the top of the pyramid generally looks at covering the market, being a leader, although they are specialists in what they do. But the bottom of the pyramid, tier 2, tier 3, tier BC operators in our companies, operating companies, for them they have to have a specific business value, and all our selling and our service should be around helping him achieve that completely. So how as service providers and as companies like ESCO and EFI, how are we going to do that? So one more point was cloud, the usage of cloud platforms. So it was discussed that the advantage of cloud is a cliche, in the sense that we are in this tech, we are here at this place because we are in the tech market. We all know what cloud is. But one of the questions that was posed to Ramu was, is this really succeeding in India, in an emerging market like India? We were discussing on the options, like one of the biggest pushers of cloud was Adobe. How was the success of Adobe in India? Of course, we all know that Adobe has reached a relative level of success in these cloud platforms across globally. Now, what's the impact here in India? How is the adoption rate? Because we want to take cue from him, how to, have the same thing in ours. And the other thing is about workflows. We were discussing on two different workflows we have. One is a task-based workflow. Another one is a job-based workflow. A task-based workflow could fit in any generic market. But the more job-based workflow, what happens when you are stuck with specific functionalities, whether you're able to address these, the impact of a workflow will grow heavy on the customers. So these are all the points of discussion. Feel free to ask questions. Ramu will be answering them for you.
Ramu was about to ask questions.
Yeah, I knew. Sure.
Yeah. No, you should share what you did with the training program, because I think that will be useful for
Okay,
people.
sure.
That little exercise was quite
Sure. One of the things that was put across at the forum is how to engage the operators. One of the things that we do at ESCO is first thing is we sell application training. We make it a point to put a value on it, because we have been garnering so much of application knowledge, dealing with so much diverse platform, that the customer needs to place a value on it. We say that this is operational training and there is an advanced level of application training. So that is one thing that we do. The second thing is what we also do is one of the points is the Konica Minolta team had some 900 installations, something like that. So it's not practical to visit each of the places and explain the internals of what each of the functionalities of the applications are. So what was proposed is we do this at ESCO is we bring people into the system. We bring the operators for a day and train them across. Yeah, and this is called a power user workshop. See, what happens is...
How these workshops in Goa?
I wish.
No, why not?
That's my manager. No.
Is it certification kinds or?
It is a certification, but majority what happens is when you bring in operators from all of the different things. Now, I have an agenda, I say, here are the good ways. There's suddenly one of my operators saying, I can do that better than Balaji. Yeah, I have this way which is better than what he can use. And that information, that knowledge, because it is based on his real world experience. So what happens is it's a confluence of minds. They come up with ways of how to better utilize the application and builds a community. What happens is, your problems are not yours alone. The whole community has issues which has been addressed. And also we take back feedback from them and push it back into the development stage. So that was one thing. And the third thing is something which is very native to us is we do YouTube videos as much as it, in the sense that sometimes when there's a video that comes from Ghent ESCO, Norway ESCO, it's all in beautiful English. There's a music flowing at the back. Everything looks nice. You're like, very nice. There's a model with a nail who is going to show the edge of the soft material and all these. So we thought this is not reaching somewhere. So what I did is I just asked my friends to pick the camera, their mobile phone, and they shoot me. Myself doing.
I heard you brought in Salman Khan.
The point here is we bring a local connect here. Yeah, do it in ways where the customer feels connected.
Here, take your camera, go to your customer side, and actually do it there on their side.
Yeah, but it's tough. There are practical difficulties. Nobody would allow filming at their place.
They will most value.
See, what you see on YouTube is more of a product. We come up with many tools very frequently based on different applications. And how do you put forth stuff to the market? The one way is to show how it actually works. That's one of the utility what we use. We do a live example with that new tool, whatever comes up, we'll put it back.
And
Definitely on filing side, we need to explore some opportunities like that, because clearly if the customers start using the real power of filing, it sells itself and pays for itself. The biggest disconnect is, how many times our engineers visit a customer site and realize the customer is not using even an intermediate feature and struggling.
Yeah, and from a business perspective, because some of our solutions are also modular, it's a great way to tell the customers of the other options which you've got. Yeah, for instance, there's a module which I want to show, but at the end of the video, what I would do is saying, look, with this, you could do this also. Yeah, so it's sometimes to, tell the customers back, look, we've got this too in our kitty, you can use this. It's a great way to. So that justifies the camera costs. So I've been asking for a tripod, by the way. Okay, so that was the discussions. Any more questions? Feel free. Thanks, guys.
User club is also a way to keep the owner also happy so that his operators are engaged. And the challenge today in the industry is the operators moving out. This is the only way they can keep it engaged and the organization.
Yeah, right. Most of my experience is any operator is not going to stick for 2-3 years. They're going to move. Yeah. So the information that he gets is most often from the previous operators, who's giving 50% of what I do. So this adds a value to the business owner as well. So your new operator is not learning a half knowledge. He's going to get the full value of what he receives.
This is what happens. The senior operator to leave and he has to pass on the knowledge. He doesn't want to pass on anything.
Knowledge transfer, Jabardast.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Balaji. This was very engaging. So just if we go through the whole spectrum, we went on from how do we go about implementing an automation, what are the challenges, we went about saying what we should automate. Is it the process or is it the service, what we should automate, and we closed it with saying that, okay, while we are implementing, if we want to really make it successful, then what we should do. So we covered the full spectrum, and while we have gathered thoughts from each of our advisor and guest, I would like to ask Sachindra to share a few of his thoughts on automation.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think I was with Dasha. She has shared most of the things. What I'm seeing in India, unlike other country, we are the slow movers when it comes to ERP. First few years, why computer for us? We'll do manual everything. But after few years, people started realizing, like what he said, person to person, operator, advantage. We are slow mover. Same thing, automation also is moving in a very, very slow pace. As Ramu said, we have a big opportunity to move, to make automation market in India. The problem why it is not moving, we all discussed about the mindset, old generation, and people not ready to adopt the change or the investment made the cost. But going forward, if you look at the overall summary, year by year, there is a growth. There is a growth in every market. You took anything new, there is a growth, or it is slow mover. We can see after 2-3 years, maybe it will be a big potential in our country. Unlike others have already implemented, but in our places, we can see a big opportunity, and most of the issues we already discussed, and why not, what are the barriers, everything we discussed. I don't want to repeat it. And, thank you for.
Thank you so much, Sachindra, sharing your thoughts. So for the next half an hour, we have tour demos for the advisors. They will be going through a few of the Fiery demos and MIS demos. So before closing the session in this room, I would like to call upon Sam to help close the session.
Wow.
I'm putting him on spot. Yes.
I thought you were going to ask Steve.
He came very late today in the morning. I don't want to put him on spot now.
Okay, you're very kind.
I think this was a different format. We are also sort of trying to innovate, experiment and innovate and figure out what works best. Nothing works good permanently, right? I mean, you have to kind of keep mixing up and keep trying different things. So I think, the smaller interactions, clearly, I don't know, we should get more formal feedback from the audience, but I thought it led to a lot more intimate discussions. And this was even smaller than the classroom settings that we have had in the past. So I thought the quality of discussion and the focus on specific problem areas were good. Clearly in the discussion that I was involved in, there are actionable items to follow through with, and it's not a one-off. I mean, these are generic problems and not just in India but globally. So clearly there is value, good amount of value that can come out of it, but follow-up is the key. I thank our ESCO friends, and look forward to more engagement together for the benefits of our customers, in proactively going in not only on the selling side but also on the engineering side. I think there's a great opportunity. Packaging is clearly the growth market in India, and the combined power of what ESCO offers and EFA offers is unbeatable, especially after some of the things that will be coming out in Drupa. It will become very clear what the promising future holds for all of us. So once again, thanks to the advisors for making the time. As usual, no amount of times that we talk to each other, there are nuggets to learn every single time. So thank you so much. And great job by the committee. Led by Arun and Madhu, as usual. You keep throwing challenges at them, and they stand up and do AB de Villiers batting on those bouncers. So keep it going. And that's it pretty much. I think thank you all, and look forward to you next time with don't know what new innovation in the format. Ramu, thank you.
We'll play slow motion next time.
Tools.
So we have, I would like to call upon Hari and Ashok. So Hari would be taking for the Fiery demo, and then Ashok. So we'll split into groups and then take a group for Fiery and then take a group for MIS. So, and thanks a lot for all of you for taking your time out and coming to this session. Special thanks to the ISNT and the facilities group, because they do a lot of hard work in the background. Our special thanks to the design team. We always give work to them in the last minute, and this time we threw a very big challenge to them, and they still did it till the last minute. So thanks a lot, Jay and team. So thanks a lot, Ashok, for working on that. Thank you.